Alright, so, Dusk. You may immediately notice that this review is going to be a hell of a lot shorter than almost all the other ones I've done, and that's for one very good reason. There is not much more to say about Dusk, apart from you need to play it. If you are interested in first-person shooters in any way, shape or form, whether it's old school, or you're a complete newcomer, or if you're even just flirting with the idea of trying a first-person shooter, Dusk is possibly the best balanced and greatest example of a game that has reasoned out every single aspect of its design, from level design, enemies, weaponry, the aesthetics, the music, into one coherent, meaningful experience. I would argue there are games out there with maybe more gloss, more polish, definitely, and maybe some which have got more in-depth mechanics. But it's very much the difference between wanting a very elaborate and very content-rich experience as opposed to wanting a very tight and focused experience. A lot of people get the feeling that linear means bad. Linear does not mean bad. If anything, big open environments and big open-ended storylines and open-ended quest lines and Radiant quests, fucking Skyrim, Jesus Christ, can actually lead to a game feeling unfocused. Dusk is the absolute polar opposite. While it may be very much a forward-firing, almost a spook house, effectively, of a first-person shooter, not a single moment is wasted, not a single asset is out of place, and frankly, if you want a more in-depth, kind of deep dive into the reasons why Dusk is just so fucking excellent, Civvy 11, I will leave a link in the description to this video below, goes into depth in all 3 episodes, and quite frankly, I don't have much more to say. It is very much one of my favourite games I have ever played. It is very much it is the game that got me into downloading GZ Doom, getting Blood Fresh Supply. I've got like Duke Nukem, I've got Shadow Warrior on my playlist because Dusk is a wonderful way of introducing you to the ideas behind old school shooters without having any of the problems that those shooters tended to have. It's a lot of people call it a love letter, and I've noticed on a lot of people's top 10 lists, which Dusk has shown up on, if that should give you an indication of how good the fucking game is, that they've said it is exemplifying the best aspects of those games without being a simple retreading of the same mistakes. While it does have a very direct approach to making you get good at the game, it is never cheap, it never tricks you, it never utilises enemies that are just a nightmare to get around. Older first-person shooters in the 90s, hit scanners. Like, I've played through the Plutonia experiment on ultra-violence, chain gunners, fucking chain gunners, and Blood Fresh Supply as well. Fucking hell. The fucking cultists in that, Jesus. But you can understand that someone, David Szymanski, who made this game, essentially looked at all of that and went, what are the bits of this that I would love to see more of? And what are the bits that I found kind of impeded the experience? And then he just made a game that exemplified the best aspects of those shooters. And yeah, that's all I can really say about it. Go get it. Either wait until it's on sale and get the bundle with a Medieval, which again is a game I should probably do a review about, but it will probably be very much like this, in which I just go buy it for 5 minutes and then just leave it there. But yes, it is honestly, like, this is, if you thought Half-Life was like a seminal first-person shooter experience, then you owe it to yourself to try out Dusk to see what the other side of first-person shooters also had to offer. Whereas Half-Life was a very theatrical, almost first-person shooter experience where you were kind of experiencing areas and a kind of very low-key but still very well-told plotline. Dusk is very much focused on making you conscious that it is a game, but also that it is an incredibly entertaining one. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for listening to me ramble on about this, and yeah, go buy Dusk, it's fucking awesome. Any game good enough for me to actually fucking mark it on my skin is indication enough that it's pretty fucking good. But anyway, I'll leave it there. Thank you for listening. Have a good one.